Well, shut the barn door.
Get the red barn door out of here. That's right. That's true. What you heard is Trek selling used bikes out of the red door, not red barn. What? Let's go over this used market thing, what Trek is diving into, and what I have perspectives on what might be happening and what are they actually successful of doing this at after this.
Welcome to I Know a Guy Bicycles, hanging out with a guy. This is As the Wheel Turns, So Do Days of Our Rides series. I will be covering topics of the industry as well as consumer views with my 30 years experience.
If you like these videos, please like and subscribe. That's much better. These hats are kind of hot and old, old school Trek 90s swag. Yeah, back in the 90s. Let's not go there. Woo, fast forward to today, 2023. Get the barn door out of here. What's going on at Trek? I'll tell you what's going on at Trek. They're selling used bikes. Now, I mentioned this a few months back. Granted, they probably had this in the works long before anybody could have heard of what I was thinking of. But anyway, I'm in the used market. That's primarily what my business model is. I refurbish used bikes, road bikes specifically, for those of getting into road riding. Welcome to I Know a Guy Bicycles, hanging out with the guy at As the Wheel Turns, So the Days Are Our Rides. Yes, this is kind of like the soap opera saga section of my channel. Anyway, talking about the red barn. Refurbished, upsell, no, not upsell, reuse, whatever. Okay, so they have actually bit their teeth into retail about 5 years ago. And they've really ramped up their service departments about 6 months ago. And now they're doing suspension work across the nation in different sites. That's stepping that up. And they've always did trade-ins. And they use trade-ins through the Bicycle Blue Book. And we'll get through Bicycle Blue Book here in a minute. But with using trade-ins, they realize they have a missed opportunity here of trading in just Trek bikes at certain years back, about 10 years, I believe, and at a certain threshold of dollars, only up to 150 or 200 above that. Those probably vary a little bit to whatever salesperson or whatever shop you talk to or whatever your bike may have. But anywho, you could roll in your old bike and go, this doesn't fit me anymore, or this is not kind of riding, or whatever. They'll give you store credit. That's basically how that works, and that happens at pretty much at a lot of bike shops. This is nothing new, not whatsoever. But what is unique to them for this particular situation is they are taking those used select Trek bikes and sending them to Waterloo, Wisconsin to be fixed up at the Red Barn. Red Barn historically was the barn that Trek was born out of in 1976 or something like that, and that's why it's the Red Barn. And if you probably never heard of it, I just remember it from the 90s when we were a Trek dealer. But anywho, and I never seen it in person. But anyway, they're using that as a marketing ploy. I'm not sure if they're using it as just storage, because the Red Barn is not big enough to do the facility, I don't think, to do what they're doing. But anyway, so they're taking these used bikes, and they're going through their 151 point inspection, whatever that means. I love to see the laundry list of that. Quite honestly, they must be counting every spoke in that case. But anywho, they're going through the inspection, so that's kind of cool. They're going through the bikes and the Treks, and what I was suggesting is taking those Treks and putting them back on the floor. Well, they're not doing that. They're going on their website. They added a page to their website, and that page is used bikes or pre-owned, refurbished bikes like that. It's like the 5th tab over on the top of trekbikes.com. So yeah, I got to have little notes here because I got a lot of topics to go over in a short amount of time. So with these bikes, they're used. And they have all the categories: road, mountain, hybrid, gravel-ish, e-bikes on there, kids bikes, and so forth. Pretty much everything that I carry. And how these bikes are listed. And I'm not going to do little PowerPoints, which I could. I don't want this video to be dinged by infringement of not original content. So we're just going to talk about this, and I'm going to put some links below to check out Bicycle Blue Book, Trek Bicycles Used, and some other resources possibly to help you go through this journey of understanding what's going on here. Pardon the interruption, there is more. More, you say? Push the more button. Push it. Push it. I dare you to push it. Once you push that button, you get more details about the video you're watching, in addition to all the tools that I use in the shop, as well as suggestion for improving your ride. In addition to help me provide advocacy in the cycling community, also links to other social media accounts as well as my website to find the products I actually sell and other insights in the industry. Other videos linked below. Extend your cycling experience here on YouTube. And now back to your original programming. Yeah, you're like, well, what does this do to me? I'm just an avid cyclist. This is a good opportunity, possibly, for you to get into an upper end bike that is not as expensive. There lies the line. Not as expensive. I looked at the prices, what they have so far. They only have 277 up today that's written on this video. They may have had more about a week ago when the website relaunched. I was out of town, so I didn't get a chance to shoot this video. And they probably are adding more daily. So, if you're looking at maybe a hybrid or a mountain bike, something with the lower price points, they have them starting around about 500. Kids bikes are still around 500. And here's the tricky bit. If you look at any of those listings, we're going to start there. You look at the listing, and you look at they're all on sale. Okay, I have all my bikes on sale too. And the philosophy behind mine is, yeah, it's used. They're individual one-offs. Each one of these have to have an individual one-off list, right? So each one has a sell price. The sell price, the regular price is what I have to sell on eBay because I got to bump that price up to offset the service charges that they have. That's the regular price. And my sell price is, a little bit lower, a good percentage lower. And that's what equates my sell price on mine. On theirs, the sell price is what they're trying to sell it for, what the regular price is, what the regular retail price was originally, I believe. That's what I've noticed so far. I didn't go through all of them, of course, but I did a couple, and that's what I found out, just by simple searches and that kind of thing. Okay, where are they getting these bikes? Well, they're getting them from trade-ins. Okay, and that's a heavy lift because you got to ship them. Where else are they going to get these bikes from? Well, this is where it's kind of hurt the bicycle dealers that are Trek dealers but not corporate. Okay, here's the sting. So they're going to be taking the demo bikes that they use, and those are going to go into that used Red Barn. What else is going to go in there? Scratch and dent. Scratch and dent is bikes that have been shipped somewhere and something happened along the way. A lot of them are okay, and they used to discount them. The former owner of Lee Cycling loved these things because we would get like 50 to 100 of them a year. Super cheap. Mark them up, mark them down a little bit, and make way more margin, like 40 to 50 points. Well, I bet you dollars of donuts that there's no more scratch and dent offers to any other dealers anymore because they're going to keep those for themselves and put them into their used refurbished line. Then they have the Trek travel bikes. They have this whole service where you can do an experience, and they have bikes you can use. And that's part of a fleet that they have. Trek travel bikes are going to go in there. Used to be sold to a select few dealers as well. As I'm getting to this, they are cutting away from the independent dealers' opportunities to make extra money. That's the sting. Okay, that's the behind the curtain, what's going on for the bike dealer's perspective. As a consumer perspective, whoa, there's some good stuff there. Reason being, you get a warranty on that frame from a used bike. Usually when it's sold secondhand, there's no warranties, nothing. You're getting a warranty on the frame, lifetime, I believe, if it reads correctly. So they're carrying that warranty over to the used bikes that they sell, which is kind of cool because you only got that when you bought it new. The Pros Closet can't provide that. They do the 30-day guarantee, which Trek does too. So you got a 30-day of, if you're not satisfied, just send it back. Get your full money back. So the uplift is you got to trade it in. You got to buy what they sell, and then you can buy something used That's the kind of the full circle we're talking about here. So you got the 30-day guarantee, and that's cutting into the pros closet. Guess what? Pros closet's been huge in the used bicycle industry. That's how they were born about a decade and a half ago, and they're big, right? Well, that's one of the major lines that's going to be competing against automatically in the market. It's not going to be, they're going right after them, basically. They may not say it, they may not, initiate that, whatever, but they are taking up that market space. We're talking about shipping it to you. And that kind of thing, well, direct to consumer. Okay, going back, so getting the benefits. So yeah, you get maybe a little bit of used bike, maybe a little bit worn or whatever, but some decent amount of discount, especially if you're looking at a little bit higher end compared to new. So I'd go there. If you're looking at like that new Damane or whatever, I'm like, oh, let's see what they have used and see if it's very comparable. A lot of the bikes they have are 23 models, just this year model, or a couple of next year model. And that's where I'm thinking where they're getting those from demos and so forth. But who in the heck would buy a bike and already trade it in already? Nah. Now, those bikes are demo bikes from some fleets or scratch and dents or whatever. Those are the newer ones are coming from those. That has to be. I mean, there's no way that somebody bought a bike last year and going, nah, it's really not for me. Here, I'm going to trade it in and take the loss on that. So, yeah, some pretty good deals there. A little bit dropped. I mean, might be a little bit aware, but you're not going to notice any of that much of a difference. So, yeah, direct to consumer. You order this thing online, and it shows up right at your doorstep. Just like Canyon Cycles, right? Just like Pro's Closet, right? Yeah, so you got that thing going on there. Service work on that, you'll have to go to your local bike shop, maybe hopefully a Trek dealer, they're hoping anyway. But anyway, they're not taking these bikes and putting them back on the floor. I don't think there's an option for dealers to grab these bikes and put them on the floor themselves. So this is kind of like their own little thing. I don't know how they're sugarcoating this to the bike dealer, but it's not good for them. It just can't be. I mean, it just can't be. Because they're taking up the used market where a lot of shops may have been already capitalizing on that used market. Like Will and Sprocket. I know those guys. They're up in Wisconsin. They have like 8 or 9 stores. They're great people. And they have used bikes too, all in this range. They're fighting up against the Pro's Closet. Not really much me because they do a little bit nicer stuff. I mean, higher end stuff and newer, more expensive anyway. I try to keep mine a little bit lower. But anyhow, they got to be hurting those guys, which are one of their bigger Trek dealers. I mean, how'd they float this idea through their Trek dealers? They didn't float it. They're like, this is what we're doing. Done. So, hey, that's the soap opera part of it and the back end of thing. But for the consumer, it might be a pretty good deal. Yeah, you get the warranty there, which is kind of a jaw-dropping thing. They have some really good bikes that are newer. Yeah, I'm not going to, if you're going to look for a new and you saved all your pennies to get to that, well, more than pennies, to get to that, yeah, you're going to be doing some spinning. And, I looked at the video for assembling. Got a 5-minute video. That's shorter than mine. Mine's like 15 or 20. But anyway, they have this 5-minute nice little promo video of putting it together, and then they give you the tools to put it together. And it looked pretty slick. I mean, doesn't really take much wrenching understanding to get this thing together and on the road within, I don't know, half an hour? Worst case, an hour? Hey, I don't know. It's one of those situations where I think it's going to be a pretty good deal for whoever is going to capitalize on the pricing. So that's on my list. But talk about pricing. Where are they getting these prices? I don't know where they're getting these prices. But let's put it this way. Number one, if you have a really good bike and decent, I really highly suggest you sell it yourself on Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, even on eBay. And looking at the market for that particular bike, clean it up, have it tuned, have records on it, all that kinds of stuff, you're going to get a lot more money on the trade-in. Why? Because they're going by Bicycle Blue Book. Bicycle Blue Book is kind of like Kelly Blue Book for cars, but for bikes. And they have 2 ranges. One range is for consumer to consumer. And that's usually what I roll with because I don't have an overhead and so forth. I can pay a little bit more money. So I look at that price point. But there's a huge cut down to trade-in value. And there's 4 levels, right? You got excellent, good, poor, and somewhere else in between. And there's there's a scale system to it. Okay, Bicycle Blue Book is an okay start, but it is not the end all be all because it doesn't do seasonality, algorithm, or any of that stuff. And COVID was all out of whack. So, and these prices, like sometimes you wonder where they come up with these prices. But anyway, it's the industry standard pushed by bike shops for Bicycle Blue Book to exist. And Trek, all the trade-ins that they get, like a Specialized, Canton, Cannondale, or other brands, they have a deal with Bicycle Blue Book. They sell it to them. They're using the low ball price. So you take that low ball price. So this is very easy for you, the consumer, and Chuck's going to hate me for saying this. Okay, look up bicyclebluebook.com. Look up the year, make, and model of the bike that you're looking at on the Red Barn. You see that price. Okay, you look it up, you're going, okay. And you'll see the price, the lower end price, dollars of donuts again. I guarantee you that's what they paid for it. There's a huge, huge margin. Huge margin. So even with that price on there, do a little email like, hey, I'm looking at this bike, send the link, Is that your best price? Can you go a little lower? I'd be interested to see what you can actually get them to go down on, especially in the lower, slower months like winter or off season, because they're going to want to move those units. It's about moving those units. It's not, you're not like me. I'm not going to want to sit on these for, they have a turn rate they want to get through, and they're individuals. So it's not like you have 10 of the same thing. They're one-off, so they're going to push one off of as many as they can, especially if it's been sitting there for a while. You may not know how long it's been sitting there because they don't have a track record or whatever on the website, but you can probably go with them the price and like, hey, knock a couple $100, $300 off of that. I mean, or whatever. Because then you can throw the Blue Book back in the face. Like, well, my bicycle Blue Book trading value is this price. The person versus this price, and you're like this much more. You could try. And I know in other companies that if they had something on sale, which technically they have all of them on sale, that means on sale means there's usually some room to work with. So don't take that sale price as the end all be all. Get something more out of it. Guarantee you can. I'm pretty much sure you can. So hey, the Red Barn, something new, something different, Specialized. If you're watching this, you should have been doing it, and you should do it yourself. And if you're an independent bike dealer and you're a Trek dealer or a Specialized dealer or whatever dealer, do your trade-ins, do the same kind of thing, but put that bike side by side with your line, and you have a third-party sell-off, or better yet, I bet you money that you have a couple mechanics in the back that would love to have an opportunity to fix up a couple off-brand bikes and just sell it themselves. Give them a little bonus. What a great opportunity for them. And you get so do a trade-in event like, hey, trade-in, we'll give you a store credit on your bikes, maybe do a little bit better on Blue Book or whatever. Whatever you give in, that's the same brands you carry. You keep those, fix them up, put them on the floor. The ones that you don't, you sell to somebody like me, or you go to your mechanics like, hey, guess what? I got these bikes for you. And once you sell them, you fix them up, you sell them on your own, Facebook, Craigslist, whatever. You fix them up or whatever. You just pay me back, I don't know, 5%, 10%, make up a number. And, it's all store credit anyway, right? You're not giving people money, you store credit. So you can kind of give them like, okay, you can take this bike for 3 months, try to sell it within 3 months, you give those mechanics that opportunity. I would be jumping at the bit of doing that. Reason being is you're moving those bikes, you're getting a little extra money off of it, but you're not muddling the mixing of your floor. You're still making a little bit of money off it as a store owner, and you're giving your employees an opportunity to make a little extra cash. Mechanics love money. It's good. So, needless to say, something to think about. Well, yeah, that's a lot of stuff to unpack. Right? There's a lot of things, a lot of cause and effect in the market. We have a lot of things that are going to relate to changing the dynamics of your independent bike dealer and the landscape of the used market. in addition to Trek being a little more of be all end all of everything cycling, right? So, well, let's take a little thought here and a little prediction what's going to happen. Well, in my perspective of seeing companies aggressively, and you've been seeing aggressively from Trek, buying shops, doing the service, doing suspension, 24-hour service, trade-ins now being advertised to selling bikes, and I think they're just cutting their teeth on this. What I mean by that is I don't think it's just going to stop to shipping bikes that are used to direct to consumer. How hard is it to switch gears and do their new bikes? They may not be saying it to their dealers. They may not be saying it to any of their customers or anybody in any networks, but I'm sure it is a conversation in some of those back rooms at Trek Corporate in Wisconsin, because they see what Specialized has done. Canyon opened the barn door literally on this a few years back in the United States, and they're very, very, very good at doing that. So yeah, I think this is their way of kind of baby stepping into direct-to-consumer for their new bike line. I mean, something of that is going to come out of it, because why not? There's nothing holding them back at this point. They're opening stores left and right. They're very aggressive about that. They are doing the used market thing. They're going to smash that, and they're going to realize, well, we can probably make more money if I keep all the bikes that we trade in, and instead of doing Blue Book, they will probably do their own, how hard it is for them to make another storefront. That's not Trek, just another used storefront, that kind of thing. So it's another thing. It's that's where a lot of people are like, I don't know how I feel about this. I'm like, well, I tell you how you feel about it. It's not helping the independent bike dealers. That boat or that bus is left. I may be completely wrong with it about that. I've been more than happy to leave comments below if you're a Trek dealer and they're doing good things for you. But at the end of the day, what I've seen historically and working in shops that have primarily been Trek dealers throughout my whole career the last 30 years, I wouldn't be surprised. So that's my 2 cents. So there we go. So to recap, the Red Barn, it's going to be interesting. How I feel about it? Well, it just added more competition in the used market. So whoever's really dived into the used market, they got another fish to watch out for, or whatever, predator. Anywho, so yeah, that concludes another installment of As the Wheel Turns, So the Days Are Rides. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend. If it's nice in your neck in the woods, go for a ride. It's nice out. Thanks to you for watching, and from the garage, until next time. Get the barn door. Oh, that's not right. Get the barn door. Get the barn door out of here. Yeah, the Trek barn, Red Barn. No. Get the red barn.